Hey,
All right. Um, so really what I wanted to talk about with you, especially coming to the end of all this, is something we have not touched on,
okay,
is supplements.
okay,
Because I know everyone loves to talk about, how to get those minuscule extra little things.
yeah. And they think that the supplement is the end all be all as well. If I
Yeah.
take this, it's gonna fix it.
Yeah.
And
So
that's yeah,
yeah, really, I mean, for me, I take protein because I find it really hard to get everything in.
yeah.
So I have a protein supplement. Then I take creatine, which is probably like, like the most researched.
Yep.
Um,
And widely used, and there's not like a male slash female beneficial for one more than the other, like there is in certain supplements. It's
yeah.
kind of hits all different levels with everybody. Super beneficial, like you said, very researched.
Yeah.
And even still finding new benefits.
Yeah, especially recent research with perimenopausal and menopausal women.
Yeah.
Super important for us to get creatine. Um,
The women's research has been huge, as well as like the neurological research, as well as saying it like helps support brain health with more traumatic injury, as far as like they're giving upwards of like 20 grams to football players before they go and play
really?
to help guard their brain.
Ooh, I have
While
to, I have to dig in on that.
Well, because it kind of makes sense because it's putting water into your muscles or into your muscle space.
Mm,
So more liquid protecting between your brain and your skull,
yeah.
it kind of makes sense.
What else do I take? I
AAs, have you been off of those
yes.
for a little bit?
Um, the thing why I take my BCAAs, and this is going to sound ridiculous to everyone, but I really like the flavor of mine.
Sometimes
There's
you need
like the
something for water.
yeah, and there's not as much, if hardly any research on BCAAs. I mean, amino acids, branched chain amino acids are the building blocks. Um, but realistically, if we're eating a balanced diet, we
You should,
should be getting that
yeah,
through our nutrition. But like I know, especially with vegetarians and vegans, that can be particularly hard because it's the we don't make branched chain amino acids in our body. They come from the food that we eat. So um, I know there's definitely not as much research, but for me,
hence
it's sort of
back.
a habit thing.
Yeah, but it's coming back to what we said though. It's a supplement. So if you don't need it, it's one of those things where you don't need to supplement it. If we're
Yeah.
getting it, we shouldn't have to. And if we are missing out, we can supplement it with these extras.
Yeah.
I think that's like where a lot of people get kind of like misconstrued or kind of pulled in the wrong direction, is they're like, I need to take the supplement, and then I'm
Mm,
look at them and go like for the rest of your life.
yeah.
Because like we've talked about this before, because if that's the case, then the marketing aspect of that won.
Oh my
And
gosh. Yeah.
taking it to maybe fill a void or to grow in one way or the other, that's more what we're looking like. Hey, I'm going to try this pre-workout for a month or so because
Oh,
I'm ready for
pre-workout's a big one.
something to get ready. Well, okay. Are you a high stem or a low stem or a no stem or a so there's so many choices out there. It kind of really depends on what your goal is. Is it an endurance kind of workout you're getting into? You don't want that high stem, or is
Yeah.
it just like a muscle pump lifting session where high stem might be your best bet?
Yeah. And I guess people get caught up in you don't like if it's a bad result or something like that, it's because I didn't take my X, Y, and Z. It's like, well, that's going to be a long-term effect. It's not really going to
That's the
mean that
placebo
you failed
there,
that workout. You know what I mean? It's like
big time.
because I didn't have my, particular thing. You get
Yes.
really caught up on that. And I used to do that as well. It's like, oh, I didn't follow da 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 da.
Yep. So it's not
So
going to work
I
perfect.
bailed on this workout.
Yeah, no, that's not the case. And that's kind of what I get caught up. I used to get caught up with a little bit, but now it's like if you look at the back, a lot of those supplement containers, if it's a decent, reputable brand, most of them are very similar and even get them from the same places.
Yeah.
It's just who's the face of that brand now and what's popular now. And you kind of see these companies ebb and flow. And then you see those standby ones that have been around for 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
and they have their place in the market, and they kind of stay there.
Yeah. Um, the only other thing I would think supplement wise, and it's not even really like if I'm my workout drink, it's carbs. And I
Yeah.
mean, we spoke about that before when we were talking about carbs in general, but I'll have liquid carbs. The other thing with protein is that there's so many different variations out there now. You've
Yep.
got your whey, you've got your collagen, you've got your vegan, you've got your pea protein, you've got marine collagen, you've got all of these aspects. And
And also different variations of each as well. Like the
yeah,
whey, there's at least three different versions of whey protein. And
yeah,
excuse me, I know personally myself, I can't take your general whey protein, just your I believe it's called uh consolidated or condensed protein.
yeah.
And it's just your regular concentrate. Where if you go into more of an isolate or even a hydrolyzed one, they
Hmm.
break them down a lot more and they get rid of a lot of that stuff that my body doesn't agree with.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes everything feel a little bit better. And again, there's so many brands out there that a certain brand might work for you, and kind of just like poke around with the back of that box, just like the fancy sneakers that come out every year. They're going to change the recipe every once in a while, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's for the better and sometimes it's for the worse. I remember I've been on certain things for years, and then they change the recipe, and
Yes, I
you're like,
remember. I remember the like a little while ago you had that, didn't you?
yeah.
And they don't like companies don't tell you that.
No, they'll say like
Like,
new flavor, improved ingredients, or
yeah,
something. Barely any sort of hint where you're just like, oh, maybe there's a little less sugar, or maybe they clean this up, but then they added five other things because it's a
yeah,
little cheaper or whatever the case may be. So,
yeah. It's very much a play around with, and it's hard because I mean proteins are expensive. So
yeah,
like trying to buy a whole bag and then it doesn't work for you, and then so it's a tough one, but like I've just found a brand that I like and that doesn't upset my stomach and that does
yep,
the collagen one because Phil prefers collagen
yep.
to
No,
whey.
I definitely have been sticking to one brand for a while and just kind
Yeah.
of going for it hard. And it works with me when I'm lifting heavy, and it works with me when I'm doing my long runs, which
Yeah.
I know sometimes they might differ with what I'm looking for, but I also look for a protein that's just protein. Sometimes you go in there and it's like protein with all these extra added
Yeah.
things. And so, again, read the damn label, because you don't know if you're just getting the base thing or if you're getting 15 extras, because some people like that. Some people don't, like you and I know, like to buy five different ingredients that are just that plain ingredient and take them when we need them.
Yeah.
I know a lot of times when you hear about athletes taking beta alanine, they're taking just beta alanine, not it in a pre workout with a bunch of caffeine. They just take the beta and maybe some like magnesium, and then they go into their workout like that, and they get that same stimulus.
Yeah.
But most of our regular general public wants a little pre workout, a little beta, maybe some BCAAs added in there,
Yeah.
and they're going to get that all in one little punch. And it might be a little bit more expensive, but it's got everything mixed already in a fancy flavor, and you're good to go. So it really depends on what your end goal is and what your convenience factor is.
And I'd be really conscious of the ingredients with pre-workout. I
Big time.
know I can get the jitters real bad depending, and like sometimes it really like I'll get halfway through a workout and I'm like hyperventilating when I'm trying different ones.
Yep.
So that's a real test and see how you're going, make sure like you're okay with it. And again, like it might be worth if you know someone that takes it, maybe try theirs before you go and invest in a whole like tub of this stuff that's expensive.
Or even on that same token, if you're a habitual Celsius or a C4 or a Bang user,
Yeah.
look into the powders. You're going to save yourself so much money,
Yeah.
because it's whatever, 30, 40, $50 for a 30-day supply, when that's going to be a week and a half of your canned drink at the convenience store. So you can look at it both ways. And a
Yeah.
lot of times they have the same exact stuff in there. And if you want bubbles, make it with sparkly water. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I know, right? And
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I don't think it's necessary from a coaching perspective. I don't think it's necessary for every workout. I don't think pre-workout,
No, not
like
at all.
the stimulus one, is necessary for every workout. I mean,
At all.
if you want to go really hard at a particular workout, like a benchmark workout, or test yourself, or you're doing qualifiers, Yes. In your everyday coming in.
Routine. Yeah, no, it shouldn't be like coffee, water, pre-workout, go.
Yeah.
That's overkill.
Yeah.
Maybe like I treat my coffee in the morning as my pre-workout.
Yeah.
That's my get up and go. And then midday or later in the afternoon, if I need a little something, that's when I'm gonna look and see, okay, what do I need?
Yeah.
Do I just need to like stay awake to coach a couple good classes and stay engaged with everybody? I'm gonna go something pretty mild. Or do I need to do that and jump into a workout and do some stuff later at night? Okay, maybe I'm gonna go a little heavier. I'm definitely gonna get into something and make sure I can get everything done tonight
Yeah.
because I don't want to be falling asleep, mid-meal.
Face first. Um, Lastly, vitamins and minerals.
So we might differ from this one because I don't really know what your
I
vitamins
take
are.
I take magnesium
Okay.
um for sleep
Okay.
and just general function, vitamin D.
Okay.
Because, and that's only because I was told about that through a blood test. So this
Okay.
is where I'm like, I'll take vitamin C, I take vitamin D, and because of where I am in my life, I'll take, and depending what time of month it is, I'll take some iron supplements and some like B12.
Okay.
Um, and
But
that's
what you're saying right now is like all these independent ones that when people go in that vitamin aisle, they're like overwhelmed because they see all these jars with all these different numbers and letters and everything on it.
yeah,
But I would rather you guys go there than grab that multivitamin that just turns your pee neon colored and you
yeah,
get to
I know.
you
It's
see
like the
all the
Flintstones
vitamin.
chewables. Do you remember those as
Yeah.
a kid?
I mean, and like the vitamin thing is a super big like draw. Like everybody's like, I can get
It's
everything I
the
need.
marketing industry.
It's
It's
great. You don't need that stuff.
no.
Like you're saying, get the individual ones that your body may lack or that you aren't getting in during the day. And then, if anything, maybe supplement some fish oil or some omega 3s or some fatty acids because a lot of times our diets aren't always hitting those.
Yeah.
If you're a big fish eater, then you maybe don't even have to do that.
But the other thing I'll say to back that up, because yes, we are on the same wavelength. It's like you don't need 15 bottles of stuff.
And sometimes it's like 200, 400, 500 times what you even need for the day. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
exactly. But this is where I would go to your primary care,
Yeah.
get a blood test. If you think you're
100%.
deficient in anything, like there are specific symptoms like an iron deficiency, you're going to be fatigued. And there's certain things that as a society we lack now. Like vitamin D is one of those things. Like,
Yep.
and that's just happened over the centuries. But go and get your bloods done. There's no point wasting money on things that you don't need to be chucking in your body.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's sort of my. I would never say to anyone, "Oh, you need this." Besides, like general vitamin C, like I take it
Yeah.
because I think it keeps me healthy.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, and if there's certain things that like you've done for a while or you could know you feel it, or like you said before, a doctor is kind of giving you a little bit of a, hey,
mm,
try this, or this might be
yeah,
better for your health, for sure. But if not, like you said, a blood test is not a hard thing to do. Go see what's up. Go see what your electrolyte levels are. Go see
yeah,
what your different indicators are. If you're prone for something, I mean, it's an easy thing to go do.
yeah. All right. I
Cool.
think I think
Yeah,
we
no,
quickly covered most of that
I think so too. I
before I get
mean,
rushed out the door.
supplements are a crazy thing. Just like we said with the food is you got to try stuff.
Yeah,
But ask around. Hey, have you guys tried this? Have you tried that? Not only that, hey, can I borrow a scoop of that?
yeah,
I know Kira and I have traded scoops of pretty much everything we've bought since we've met each other. Just
yeah.
because, like, hey, this works for you.
What
Cool. I mean,
works?
that works for you. Oh, this tastes like shit. Oh, I thought this one worked good, but it didn't really taste that good. Okay, we'll try this. So
Yeah,
ask, play around with stuff, or even like sit down with a friend and you order a couple of these and they order a couple of those and trade.
yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And again, like I would, if you're ever worried about anything, talk to your primary care. Like that's go and get the tests done because yeah, that'll before you start wasting money.
yeah, yeah, and just like everything else, feel free to ask myself
Yeah.
or Kira questions if you're scared of like what a proprietary blend is. Sometimes that can get a little sketchy.
Yeah.
Um, and just little things like that, like what certain ingredients are. I mean, it's really easy. We can either Google them or just chat with you guys about them.
Yeah.
It's pretty straightforward.
100%.
Cool. No, I thought that was good. We definitely
Oh,
covered the basic stuff.
yeah.
Protein, creatine, Make sure you're getting your hydration in, especially like we said in summertime
Electrolytes,
here in
yeah.
Florida. We want those electrolytes in, and they're in a lot of things now. They don't have to just be that little packet of IV
Hmm.
now. You could get them in so many things. So
Yeah.
awesome.
Cool.
Well,
All
good
right.
seeing you all the way up there in New York. And we shared the cold day today. Tomorrow it's
Yes.
be warm again, so I'm sorry for you.
It's all right. I'm gonna go romanticize about New York in the snow.
Cool. Well, Kira gets to go see the Rockettes now. We're all jealous. So enjoy your
I
show.
need to eat.
Have a fun ride into the city.
I will. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye.
Bye.